Okay. Now I understand why Saitama is so depressed. Hello everybody. Last week's run was rough, so today we'll play with something easier. This time we are going to use zangoose. Let's get over the usual rules. I have to use only zangoose in combat, can't use items in combat, I can't ever use the move double team, and I can't use any cheats or glitches. Zangoose is the first Pokemon I do a solo run with that has the erratic growth rate. This makes him level up very slowly until level 40, but very fast after 60. Other than that, I don't expect the run to be hard at all. Zangoose has very good stats for a solo run and a great move pool too. Just look at what he learns at level 10. I don't bother resetting for a good nature. I'm sure Zangoose can do it no matter what. She even one-shots the first Zigzagoon. So I don't level up for May and go in at level 5. The small chick can tank a hit, but the next crit seals his fate. Even after defeating May, Zangoose is nowhere near close to leveling up. The trainer fights along the way give me some experience, but I arrive at the grand fight a couple levels lower than usual. It doesn't really matter though, because Zangoose is a beast and can take care of Cuciena easily. For Roxanne, I could only reach level 15. I could have spent some time grinding for Slash at 19, but I don't think it was needed. I'm going to set up 3 Source Dance against her lead and then hope for the best. Even at plus 6, Quick Attack is a 3-shot against the Geodudes. I did not expect them to be this persistent. The second one is a bit easier since it did not have the time to set up defense boosts, but leaves me on low HP from all the rock tombs. I get a very lucky crit against the Nosepass to take home the win. That could have been bad, but in the worst scenario I could have leveled a bit to get Slash. Next up is the Grant holding Pico hostage, and he can't do much really. One single priority quick attack is enough to KO his Pokemon. When not resisted, Zango's moves hurt a lot, like for example in the optional fight against May. I use Surge Dance just in case, and then I can go to town on her team with Quick Attack. Of course, both of her first stage Pokémons go down easily, even if I'm using a good Pokémon. Since I'm a physical attacker and I'm weak to fighting, I was scared of Brawly and decided to, like always, skip him for a second. The two Team Aqua grunts in the museum, on the other hand, are a joke. With the newly learned Slash, they all get cut to pieces. The only proof of the fight happening is the small chip from Rough Skin. Once Archie is finished pumping his chest, we can safely deliver the sub pieces and move on to the fight against Brawly. I probably could have defeated him earlier, but with Slash it's a bloodbath. While I was using Surge Dance, he took off almost half of my HP, but since he can't touch me again, it's an easy win. That was one of the harder gyms, and we got through with no issues. Not long after, I have to fight Mei too. Again, I'm going to set up one Source Dance, but she confuses me. That's dangerous since I could take myself out with all that attack, but this time Zangoose does not claw at her own face. After we took care of Mei, I defeated all the trainers around Mobile to level up a bit and get ready for the match against Watson. I took out the Voltorb so he does not paralyze me, and against the Electrike, I used Surge Dance a few times to maximize my attack, so I will be ready for Magneton. I need all that attack since it's a steel type and resists my normal moves, but it turned out to not be necessary since Zangoose crumples it in one hit. Well, that was easy. I could have used the secret power TM since it does not make contact and has some additional effects, but I kept Slash for the crit. The fight against Maxi is the first time we face a Mightyena and Intimidate. I used one Source Dance to negate the attack drop, and then I can go on the offensive. The accuracy drops from Sand Attack do not impact the fight, so soon enough Maxi is defeated too. After we stopped him, we can make our way to Lava Ridge, where we have to take on Flannery. The only worrying part of her team is the Torkoal, so to make it easy, I used a few Source Dance at the start of the match. Even if my special defense is not that high, I can take another hit very well. Once I reach plus 6 in attack, I can start digging my way through her team. I'm sure Slash would be enough, but let's use a different move for once. It makes the fight longer, but at least it's not so monotone. We also finally reached level 40, so now I should start leveling a bit faster, but it's not like levels have been a problem so far. Anyway, after we get the fire badge, or whatever it's called, we have to fight our dad. He too has a normal type team, but does not use Zangoose. I set up against Slacking, which is a weird decision, but I expected him to use Counter and Spinda would confuse me. The rest of the team can't do anything and quickly goes down. This is starting to get a bit too easy. As usual, we are going to obtain the Surf TM and proceed to the Weather Institute. I skipped a few trainers along the way, but still did most of them. After we kick Team Aqua's butt, we have to engage May in combat one more time. She leads with the Pelipper, but in this run it will not be as big of a problem. I use Surge Dance since it will protect anyway, and then I can sweep through the rest of the team. Right after me, there's the Flying Gym headed by Winona. She has a Skarmory that is resistant to Slash, and I think could survive a hit. I decided to take a risk and use Surge Dance against the Swablu, but then I take it out because I don't want to listen to any Perish songs. I finished the setup against the Tropius since it can't do much damage. Pelipper makes a questionable decision and does not protect, so I saved some time, and the Skarmory, given the boost, dies in one hit. The sun sets on Altaria not long after that too, and with that we have another badge in our pouch. As usual, I collect the Magma emblem, but then I skip Route 123 that I usually do to level up, and jump straight to Groudon's lair. Here Maxi picks a fight with us. I'm going to use just one Source Dance to offset the Intimidate, and then the Crobat confuses me, which could be bad since I could kill myself. Thankfully, I only lose half HP to the confusion, and then we can finish the fight. With Maxi out of the way, we have to return to Lily Cove to proceed with the main story, and since we are already here, we might as well do the last optional fight with May. I don't think Source Dance was needed, but I used one anyway. As you might imagine, there is not much to say about the fight. They all go down in one slash when I hit them, and the fight does not take long to resolve in my favor. Once again, I skipped the route with the currents so that my level would not skyrocket, but I still ended up at 70, which is a bit higher than usual. I also taught Zangoose the Shadow Ball TM, and with this super effective move, there is no need to use Sword Dance to devastate all of their psychic types. Since it's a double fight, they can still do good damage to me because I can defeat two Pokemons at the same time, but it's not enough to take me out or even to make the match close, to be honest. Not long after we have dealt with the twins and took their badge, we are thrusted in another double fight, this time with Steven against the leaders of Team Magma. As usual, I boosted to remove the Intimidate. This was likely not needed since my base attack is very high at this point. I'm also using Return now since it's a good 50% boost to my damage compared to Slash. With all of those nice things on my side, this fight too is very easy, especially because the enemies spend most of their turns setting up or doing other random stuff instead of attacking or at least confusing me. When it becomes a 1v2, you know it's over, since I'm faster and can one-shot anything. So this match too concludes with a one-sided victory. After Steven thanks us with the TM for dive, we have to reach Kyogre's lair to start the last fight with Archie. This time I switched tactics a bit and didn't use Source Dance. This way I hoped to dodge some RNG, banking on the fact that my attack would be high enough anyway. My bet pays off, and Max's team is another clean sweep. I have to say that while I was playing the game, Zangoose felt very good. After all, who doesn't like to win? But now, looking back at it, the run feels a bit empty. The fun part of these runs, at least for me, is to overcome the challenges, expected or not, that pop up. So far, the run has been a breeze. So I worry that in a couple of weeks I will not remember a single thing about it. Getting back to the gameplay, let's see if Juan can prove to be a challenge. By the way, I skipped his basement dungeon too to not level up as much. Spoiler alert, he is very easy. I don't even bother setting up. Just spam return and get through the fight that way. I thought that maybe the Kingdra could survive a hit, but nope, the Seahorse is a one-shot too. Well, we are done with the gyms, so it's time to hike to the league. Along the way, we meet Wally that wants to duel us one last time. Unfortunately, he too is very easy. Like for Juan, I don't use Source Dance, and for the Magneton, I know Dig, so he is not a problem either. And the rest of the team quickly follows it to the grave with a return each. Zangoose is clearly annihilating everything on her path, so to make the league a bit more challenging, I decided to not use the rare candies and go in as is. At this point, I learned to stop worrying about Intimidate and love the bomb. There are probably negative 2 people who got that reference. We both know that Source Dance is not needed at this point, so I don't know why past me wasted some time using that move. As expected, the rest of the team is destroyed, and I can move on without taking any damage. Up next is Phoebe. I got Shadow Ball from Mount Pyre, so she should be a breeze too. As we all know, her lead Dusclops loves to use Protect. I could have used Source Dance, since I have nothing better to do, but I just wasted the turn instead. The rest of the team once again can't stop me. Sableye leaves a hit, but doesn't do anything interesting. So in a few more balls of shadow, Phoebe is down for the count too. Now we are halfway through the Elite Four, but the remaining two might be a tad bit more interesting. Maybe Glacia could get a freeze and cause me to reset for the first time. I guess she could dream about it. I use Source Dance while Celio makes it hail and then eats another sweep. I can already see the comments saying that I could have not used Source Dance in the league. But I don't like to change the rules halfway through the game. Well, more like 90% true in this case. So Glacia 2 gets defeated easily. At least she did more damage to me than the first two guys combined. Sure, it was from hail, but it still counts. Time for the last member. Drake always seems to cause issues, so maybe he can stop the slaughter. For him, I equipped a cherry berry because this is the plan. Take out the shotgun so he does not slow me, then use Source Dance against either Altaria or Flygon and cure paralysis from Dragon Breath, and then have enough attack to sweep even if intimidated by Salamence. The plan goes off without a hitch, and we can reach the last fight in the game without having to reset a single time, and in a much faster and easier fashion than slacking. Usually I equip a Pecha Berry for the champion to cure Toxic, but this time our ability Immunity makes us immune, as the name suggests, to poison, so that's another weight off my shoulders. I BM a bit by using Source Dance in front of Tentacruel, and I pay for it with a Hydro Pump to the face, but I'd say it was worth it. Unfortunately, the AI is not smart and does not send out Gyarados immediately to lower my attack. It would not have mattered anyway, let's be honest. So yeah, this fight was a joke too. As expected, good offensive stats and a good move pool are extremely useful in a solo run. Zangoose was definitely the easiest Pokemon I used so far on the channel. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, and if you can take a second out of your day, leave a comment. All constructive feedback is welcome, or leave a video idea suggestion. See you next week. Bye.